Hello everyone and welcome back to Handmade in All Hallmark. Amanda here. Welcome to Cards number 8 of my Christmas card series for this year. I'm super excited to bring you these 3 gorgeous cards, and I used the new Simon Says Geometric Snowflakes Stamp set. I was so excited to see these snowflakes come out, and they are so gorgeous, and I knew I just had to do heat embossing and using some metallic paints to color them in. So I've got 3 different kinds of cardstock here. I've got some Schoolhouse Red, I've got some Forest Green and Soft Navy, and I also have some Aged Mahogany, Mowed Lawn, and Blueprint Sketch Distress inks. And I'm also going to be using my Simon Says Antique Gold Embossing Powder and my Sterling Silver Brutus Monroe Embossing Powder. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get my Versamark and my Misty out, and I'm going to start stamping these panels, and I'm going to do them all at the same time, and I'm going to just place my snowflakes in here where I want them, and then I'm just going to swap out the panels as I go. And I was really excited about these snowflakes. I couldn't just choose a couple. I wanted to use all of them. I thought they were absolutely amazing, and I believe these were designed by Christina Warner, and she did an amazing job. I love all of her snowflakes. They're absolutely incredible. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to make sure I left a little bit of a space down near the bottom so I had room for my sentiment. And I'm going to be using this sentiment from this stamp set, Comfort and Joy from Simon Says. And I just wanted to make sure I had enough room near the bottom to put that sentiment. So I'm just taking my anti-static powder and I'm making sure I cover it thoroughly because I've got a lot of embossing going on here. Using my VersaFine ink, and I'm just going to swing the door over using my fingertips and just press down these stamps into the cardstock. And I got a really good impression the first time, and I was super excited to get these new containers for my embossing powder. They work really well. I have, kind of less waste than I did before, and I like using the little spoons, and it's just a lot nicer storage as well. Then I'll have everything listed down in the description box below of everything that I'm going to be using today. So just taking my heat gun and heating up the embossing powder, and I love watching embossing powder melt. Again, I think I mentioned this in my last video. It is one of my favorite things. My kids love it. They think it's magic, and magic at Christmas, it just really goes really well. And if you can see, I didn't get this one stamped very well, but I just ended up restamping it later on, and I'm just going to continue on with the video, getting my green cardstock in here and doing the same process, not moving my snowflakes, lining up my piece in here, and marking where I have it so I don't shift it anywhere else, so I get the stamps placed exactly the same on this one. And again, I really loved making these cards. I had so much fun, and now I've got 3 extra cards, and I can't wait to give these away. People really enjoyed looking at these. And I'm going to be using the gold on the red cardstock and the green cardstock, and I'm going to be using the silver on the blue cardstock. And I think the green one was my favorite out of all of these. I just like green and gold together. I think they look really beautiful and they go really nicely for Christmas. Just keeping my heat gun moving back and forth so I don't warp my paper too much. I wasn't super concerned about the warping because I am going to be attaching these nice and flat, so they'll kind of level themselves out. But these were so much fun to make. Now I'll get my blue cardstock done, and I'm going to be using this silver embossing powder. Woke up this morning and it was super frosty out. My kids thought it had snowed, and I was like, no, it's just frost. We had that much frost, and we had the beautiful weather last weekend, and now it's plummeted. We went from 70 degrees down to like 28. The joys of living in central Pennsylvania. You get every season in a week. It is so funny. Get my sterling silver embossing powder from Brutus Monroe. I really like this embossing powder. I've tried several different silvers over the years, but this one I think is my favorite. It's just a really vibrant silver. Get that one heated up. If you haven't noticed, I'm a very traditional Christmas colored kind of person. I know that there's lots of varieties that people have used over the years. Like I've seen like pinks, and I've seen turquoise and teals. But for me, I really like the traditional color palette. Your reds, your greens, your whites, your blues, your really rich dark colors. I feel like those are very warm and inviting colors for Christmas. So now that I got those first sets of snowflakes stamped, I wanted to come back in with some more just to kind of round out the design and fill it up even more with snowflakes. So I placed those in, I've got my panels lined up, and then I can stamp these all in the same exact spots throughout all of my panels. So again, some more heat embossing. This video is a little bit longer than usual because I left everything in. I wanted you guys to see the process. These really didn't take me all that long. Once I got a system going and I had, kind of, an assembly line sort of thing, they really didn't take very long, and I had a lot of fun making them. It was very relaxing. Again, just lining them up with the grid. And like I said, this was a really quick process. Once I had one done, in and out, in and out. And you could easily do this as a mass production. If you wanted to make a whole bunch of cards like this, even if you didn't want to change the color palette and you just wanted to stick with the same color through each one, you could easily do that. And I think these would be beautiful cards for like teachers, if you've got multiple teachers to give gifts to, daycare workers, the mail lady or mailman, co-workers. These would be great cards to mass produce for co-workers too. And I've already got some people in mind for these cards as well. I'm super excited to give them out this year. And then finally we have the blue one. We'll get that one stamped and ready to go as well. So I have a question for everyone. How many of you, if you want to leave your answer down in the comment box below, how many of you have already decorated for Christmas? I am going to be decorating this upcoming weekend. I'm super excited. My kids are like, no, you can't decorate yet, but I've got a craft fair coming up at the end of the month, and I want to make sure that I've got my decorations up and ready to go. So I can't wait to put mine out. So when do you have yours up already, or do you wait until after Thanksgiving? When do you put up your decorations? Let me know in the comments below. Now that I've got the all of the snowflakes put down where I want them, I'm going to do my sentiment, and since I did the same stamping through all of them, I'll be able to stamp the sentiment in the same place over and over again. And I wanted to add just a couple more sentiments just to kind of fill around, or a couple more snowflakes, excuse me, just to fill around the sentiment there, just so I didn't have a whole bunch of like really open spaces. So I went through my stash and I found some snowflakes that looked similar to the ones I have here. I found some in some of my Lawn Fawn sets and some of my Mama Elephant sets. So just go through your own personal stash and see what kind of snowflakes you have that you could match with these ones. And there's so many out there, you could easily do that. And I just wanted to fill in certain places where I felt like I needed another snowflake here and there, because I really, really wanted this to be a whole flurry of snowflakes. And like I said, this was so much fun to make. I probably said that too much in this video, but I had so much fun. Going with the embossing powder over where I have all of those snowflakes. And I wasn't too worried about if they didn't come out absolutely perfect, because you have snowflakes that are like that. You get ones that are, missing some parts, and, snowflakes are just like people. Not everybody's perfect. Here we go. I love it. Super great. Now I can put my silver embossing powder away because I am all done with that, clean all that up, and then I can go in and do my gold embossing powder. So again, get my sentiment in there, and I didn't want to do where I left the snowflakes and the sentiment in the same place, just because there were slight differences. Maybe I didn't have my paper lined up all the way, but they weren't exactly the same as each other, so the spacing in between the snowflakes was a little bit different in between each of these cards. And I wanted to just do them individually. It was a lot faster trying to do it this way than trying to, line everything up and making sure it was all the same. Yeah, this green one was one of my favorites. I really like the way that this one turned out. And then we'll get the red one. If you notice here, my red one is all better. I stamped it later on off screen and embossed it, because the other one, some of the snowflakes were missing some parts, and I wanted to make sure that they were all filled in. So I just restamped it with an extra panel I had already ready to go. So in case I made a mistake, which everybody does. And I really like this sentiment, sending comfort and joy. And I'm done with the embossing powder. I can put that away. clean up my station so I've got no embossing powder laying around, and we can get into the next steps. So I've got my Easy Clean mat here, and I am going to be adding some distress ink around the edges of my panels just to add some shading and depth to them. I really like doing this with color cardstock. I really think it adds to it. So I'm taking the aged mahogany for this red panel, and I'm starting with the aged mahogany. Then I'm going to go in with black soot as well. Sounds a little scary, but it really does add that depth and dimension to this really plain flat card color. And I really, really like doing this with color cardstocks. It is just one of my favorites. So some black soot and just really lightly around the edges, and you can see how that really makes those colors, the gold, pop out. And then I'm going to clean off my surface here so I can get into the next color combination, which is the green. I've got mowed lawn and black soot. And again, I think this green one was my favorite. I just love the rich greens. I like the red one and the blue one too, but I think this one's definitely my favorite. Again, go around in a nice circle so it's lighter in the middle and darker around the edge, and then I'm going to go in with the black soot and do the same thing. Oh, it's so pretty. I love it. Clean off my surface so I don't transfer ink. And then I'm going to go in with chipped sapphire, not blueprint sketch, I apologize, and do the same thing. This one didn't translate as dark as the other ones did because the card panel is almost the same shade, but you can see that there is a difference, and once I add the black soot you can really see it there. Really like this. A lot of fun. Clean off my surface here, and we're going to get into the next steps. So I've got my 3 panels here. They're looking great. Now I'm going to take my Art Philosophy Metallic Accent paints, and I am going to be taking on my gold panels the gold color, and on my silver one I'm going to be taking the silver colors. And I'm just going to go through with my number 4 Royal Langen nickel brush and my number 2 paintbrush, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to start coloring in some areas of my snowflakes. I'm going to put on some music for you, and once I'm all done with all of the painting on all 3 of these panels, we'll come back and finish up these 3 beautiful cards together. finishing up this last panel by adding those cute little extra dots in the background just to add to it. And again, this was so relaxing, and just painting these, listening to Christmas music, thinking about snowfall. It was so relaxing, and if you can tell, I missed one little part of that snowflake there, and I don't know if I caught onto it until right now. I don't think I fixed it, but I've just got some plain white cardstock here, and I'm going to be cutting some top folding card bases here for these 3 cards. And I'm going to be using a score pal to score them right in the middle. I love doing top folding cards. I just think they stand up nicer than they do side folding card bases, but I really wanted to do top folding with these ones. So I'm going to get ready to get these attached to these panels. But first, what I wanted to do is I wanted to add a little bit of stitching around these panels. So I've took my MFT A2 size stitched stack dies and ran them through my die cutting machine, taking some Tombow glue and just attaching them to these panels. And I like the nice thin white border around here. Again, it doesn't distract from what's going on, it just adds some nice grounding to these pieces. And next I'm going to go through and I'm going to add some Nouveau drops to each of these panels. I'm going to be using the gold for my gold ones, and I'm going to be using silver for my silver card. Just going to go around to the different places on these snowflakes where I felt like I wanted to add some, and I didn't like where I had that one place, so I took it out and redid it. In the centers of the snowflakes, on the ends of the snowflakes, just where I felt like I think it would look nice to have some dimension. And I really like adding these Nouveau drops, especially to these 1-layer cards, because it adds that needed dimension just to make them look really neat. Do the same thing with the green card. Wherever I felt like I needed to add some. I didn't want to overdo it because these cards had so much going on as it was, but still had a lot of fun with it. And the best way that I've done Nouveau drops is I try to anchor my other hand with my other one to help me stay steady. And in the silver card, I'm going to use some silver Nouveau drops. And I think I need to get a new one. This one's getting kind of used up. And I think right here is where I noticed, yep, that I had missed that end of that snowflake. And I went in and just colored it in really quickly. And that will finish up these cards for today. I want to thank you guys so much for coming by. If you really liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button, as well as to subscribe so you don't miss out on any more videos from my channel. Stay safe, stay warm, and I will see you guys here real soon in the next one. Have a great day. Bye!